Okay, following along in chapter 7, we are not doing triple angles at all. Ones like example 2. We are not proving identities. Those are reserved for your calculus classes. So the next thing that we will look at are half angles. Okay, and so just like we have a double angle formula, we have half angle formulas. And once again, we are not doing tangent. We're only going to do sine and cosine. Okay. And it's really interesting because the sine, I'm sorry, that's for lowering powers, excuse me. We're not doing lowering powers formulas either. It's right here. So we're not doing lowering powers. We're not proving identities. We're only doing half angles. So double angles and half angles for sine and cosine. Here we are. And for some reason, they start using u instead of x to represent your angle. There's absolutely no reason. I don't know if they just got bored using the same variable, but don't let that bother you. If you still want to use an x, any letter you want to use in the alphabet works. Okay. But if I want to take my angle u and cut it in half, divide it by 2, that's how I find sine, and that's how I find cosine. And notice that I need the cosine value to find sine, and I need the cosine value to find cosine. So I don't need the sine value at all, and we're not doing tangent. Okay. And then see how it's got, let me highlight this and show you what I'm talking about. See how it's got the plus or minus in front right here? Okay. Down here, they give you a little note. And the reason it says plus or minus in front of the square root is it depends on what quadrant you're in. Okay. So depending on what quadrant, u divided by 2 or u halves ends up being in, that'll determine if it's positive or negative. So let's do one of these. Okay. Let's find the exact value of 22.5. Okay, 22.5 is half of 45. Okay. We can't just take half of the square root of 2 over 2. We can't do that because we've got to do this formula. Okay. So, I've got sine of 45 over 2. And here I have 1 minus the cosine of 45 divided by 2. And then I work that out. And I will take a decimal equivalent for this. And yes, I'm well aware that you could just plug this into your calculator and you wouldn't have to do any of this stuff with the formula. That's why on your test, I've got to figure out a way for it to not just be an answer. Maybe, show me what you're doing. But we'll get to that when we review for the test. Okay. All right. And then I'm not going to look at example 6 because example 6 is showing you how to find tangent. And we're not going to do tangent, only sine and cosine. And then the rest of this section, okay, we're not doing ones like example 7. Okay, we're not doing ones like example 8. And we're not doing product to sum formulas or sum to product formulas. Okay, and once again, we're not proving identities. So just double angle and half angle.